It's Nolan.
Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
In the comments, clear my conscience to the beast. They say I'm sowing what I reap, so now them comments come in peace. Yeah. Lot of broken promises I've been waiting on. Lot of y'all been hating, but that's the way it go. People I used to run with trying to play me. No matter what they do, can't let them change me, no.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well. In this particular video, we're not going to be talking about music, but we will be in the entertainment sphere. We're going to be talking about Stephen Twitch Boss, his former, well, I ain't even gonna say former, his wife, his widow, unfortunately. She's come out and done an interview with People Magazine. She also has her own memoir book coming out talking about her life and also detailing some of the things that happened leading up to Twitch's death. Of course, he did take his own life. And now she's coming out talking about some sort of drug habit that Twitch had that was never discovered before, but now she's putting it out there. Okay. We're going to talk about that, but we're also going to get into Twitch's family and how they're complaining that Miss Allison Holker, which is her name, she has not been allowing the family to come see the kids. We're talking about his brother is saying this. He's got multiple cousins that are saying this. They're also saying that she made the family sign NDAs to even attend his funeral, their own family member. Now that sounds pretty strange. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this. I don't want to waste a lot of time. I'm on the People Magazine article right now. They say Stephen Twitch Boss widow Allison Holker discovered his drug addiction in very scary moment before funeral. Okay. Allison Holker made a devastating discovery about her late husband, Stephen Twitch Boss, on one of the hardest days of her life. Weeks after the Ellen DeGeneres show co-executive producer and longtime DJ died by unaliving himself at age 40 in December of 2022, the dancer uncovered a cornucopia of drugs. Now, for people that don't know what a cornucopia is, that's like a large assortment of things. Okay, she claims that he had mushrooms, pills, and other substances that she had to look up in her phone hidden inside his shoe boxes. Okay, she says, I was with one of my really dear friends and we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. It was a really triggering moment for me because there were a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. It was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue about. It was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out, but it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. Throughout their 9-year marriage, Holker, who details her healing journey in a new memoir titled This Far, which will be out February 4th, believed that she and Boss had very honest communication, including about his marijuana use. At night, after their kids went to bed, he would quietly slip into their guest house to have a smoke or a drink. Okay, she says that was his alone time. It was his time to recharge, and that was okay. You know, I guess that was somewhat of his man cave to rest, relax, recuperate, and get into whatever he needed. You know, shit, he might have had an Xbox in that bitch. I don't know. But as she combed through his journals, hoping to find clarity and closure after his death, Holker learned her husband had hidden painful secrets from even those closest to him. She says he was wrestling with a lot inside of himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone because he loved everyone so much. Okay. They say he also alluded to being sexually abused by a male figure during his childhood in several of his journal entries. He didn't want other people to take on his pain. Okay, now I don't know if that was ever revealed publicly that he was violated by a man in his youth, or if she's putting this information out now that he's deceased. But I will say, if that is indeed true, and it wasn't something that he was trying to put out into the public, I do wonder why you would put that out after he's passed away. You know, because for the most part, Boss rests in peace. Outside of his family's complaints, and whenever she comes out and does something and talks about him and basically brings back those moments of when everybody was like shocked to hear about him unaliving himself, he rests in peace. People don't really be out here discussing him like that because he really don't have no reason to be talked about other than the fact that he was just like a really jovial person. And, you know, he was just the grooving dude on Ellen DeGeneres. So it seems to me that you're kind of tarnishing his legacy, tarnishing his name, all for your own personal gain. That does seem a bit weird to me. Y'all let me know how y'all feel though. Okay. She says, while she felt betrayed by his secrets, Holker has also gained a new outlook over time. I bet you did. She says, reading Stephen's journals and even going back into the books he had read and the things that he was highlighting and lining really gave me a better perspective of where he was in life and the type of things he was struggling with, she says. It did have me feel a lot of empathy towards him and sadness for all the pain that he was holding. She underscores that she's now sharing Boss' struggles in the aftermath of his death in hopes of saving even just one person who's been struggling in silence. This is a quote. She says, it was really hard to put all the pieces together. Through certain discussions, even with friends and things that have been said, reading through his journals, you realize he went through a lot as a child and never faced it, she says. It's hard to think that he never opened up to someone and wanted to face it to get through on the other side. I really hope people dealing with the same thing will help themselves out of the shadows and know you're going to be okay. While Boss, who was acting withdrawn, showering less frequently, and smoking morning and night, acknowledged to her that he was going through a low period, he was very careful about his wording. So she does say that in the days before he took his own life, she claims he was acting withdrawn. He didn't want to be around as much. He was showering less frequently, so he wasn't caring as much about his personal hygiene as normal. And she says that he was smoking morning and night, which I'm guessing was more than usual. But he never shared details about what was on his mind, right? At the time, he was closing out 8 years on the Ellen Show while also ending a run as a judge on So You Think You Can Dance. Still, we were getting ready for this big year, she says. It seemed like, oh, he's taking a rest period, which he would say he's never had. In hindsight, Holker believes he was deeply struggling with the chasm between the extroverted tWitch, you know, his beloved public persona, and the introverted Stephen, a man who yearned to be the perfect husband and dad to their 3 kids, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya. Excuse me. When I would think about, this is a quote, when I would think about my husband at the time, I would think, oh, I love that tWitch is such a great performer. But then when he comes home, he feels safe enough to be Stephen. I was with him for so long, and that's how he's been the entire relationship. I was like, it's a beautiful thing that he can be both. Looking back, Miss Holker realizes his 2 very different personalities were increasingly battling each other. What if he felt safe being this one individual that has different kind of energy, she now wonders. You don't have to be a completely different person and put them aside from each other. The morning before he went missing, Boss dropped off Wesley at school. She was the last person in their family to see him alive, and his final words to her were, I wish I could be your Superman. I hate to say that. That's some eerie words to a child, you know, especially with the situation as it went out. But, you know, man, I hate that he did that to himself, but you just never know what somebody's going through. Further quote. She says, having someone say last words to you that you didn't really process at the time as being anything wrong that's really hard, especially as a teenager, says Holker, noting that Wesley still attends the same school. This is a quote. She handles it with far more grace than she would have to. We took the steps to really help her and communicate with her and make her feel seen and heard. I think she also sees those words as something beautiful and also ugly. It's a battle that she's going to always have with herself, but I know she can see it from both sides. Feeling the full range of emotions and knowing that's okay is what Holker hopes people take away from her new book. Okay? She says, I've been so fortunate to have resources that have helped me that I've now teamed up with. She says of working with organizations like the National Alliance of Mental Illness and Maple Counseling. She says, I've learned there's so many other resources that a lot of people don't know about. I've had so many people reach out to me needing to talk. And if I've ever learned anything, I've learned that mental health can impact anyone at any time of their life. It's important just to be an open vessel to them when they're going through it, listen and allow them the space to be who they are at that moment and not make them feel like it's wrong. People that have a lot of light, they still have gone through a lot of dark, and that's okay because you can't have one without the other. Okay? The book, This Far, My Story of Love, Loss, and Embracing the Light by Allison Holker comes out February 4th for anyone interested in checking that out. Now, all of that being said, she's got an 18-minute interview with people that I won't be playing here. I just gave y'all the gist of the conversation. You can venture out on your own and go check that out. But as we can see, nowhere in here did she mention, I discovered these journals and these things that he wrote down about his childhood and the different stressful and depressing experiences that he went through. Never once did she say, I reached out to his family to talk about these journals, to try to gain some more clarity about his experience, to learn more about my deceased husband, to get more information that I could pass down to my kids from his family. Never once did she say she interacted with them. And I think that that's paramount here because, again, his family is saying she been keeping us out of the loop. She won't bring us around. She keeps us away from the children. She don't communicate with us in any type of way. And they accuse her of putting this memoir out and putting this this story out about him using a cornucopia of drugs. They feel like she's throwing him under the bus. They feel like she's lying. And they state that there was never any sign. She at the time of his passing, she said that there were never any signs of anything unusual, but now all of a sudden she can remember all of the signs, right? So let's get to the family. Before I dig all the way into this, I want to give a big shout out to Opinionated Truth for running this by me, to give me a quick briefing of everything that's going on. I saw the story circulating. I saw one of the cousins that came out, but I didn't see everything that was going on. So shout out to Opinionated Truths. So first up, we've got a family friend coming out named Courtney Ann Platt. She comes out and responds directly to this story circulating. She says, anyone who knows me knows I go straight to source during a conflict and handle my business. But since there's clearly no shame in being so public, I haven't said a word in 2 years, but here I go. She says, I was there the moment you both connected, right? So she was friends with both Allison and tWitch. She was there the moment they connected. She says, I was there the day you got engaged. I stood by your side on your wedding day. I was in your home the day he died. I was by your side because your husband was my family. It didn't matter how often we spoke, how often we saw each other. We were bonded forever. This is by far the most tacky, classless, opportunistic act I have ever seen in my entire life. We all had to sign some weird NDA to attend his funeral, even his own mother, who you've treated like garbage this entire time. And let's just remember, you wouldn't have even had a husband if it wasn't for her. Damn, she lighting your ass up like a Christmas tree. Not to share anything or ruin his name, as if that was on anyone's mind in the first place. And here you go and write a book with all the dirty laundry, smearing his name and attempting to dim the bright, loyal, loving light that was your husband, my friend. Whether any of it is true or not is actually beside the point. This is how you protect the boss name you so quickly dropped on your social media platforms 48 hours after he passed. Ooh, wait. You some in distress widow, but you dropped that nigga name immediately within 48. She continues, his legacy, this is how you protect his children from any further humiliation, hurt, and despair? This is what you want them to remember about him? You have moved on. You're living your life. You're on every carpet you can get on, every celebrity role you can sit in, every magazine you can be in, and you needed to do this? Get a journal, a therapist, a friend. But publishing a book, shamelessly sharing the pages of your husband's journal, People magazine? What a joke. Yes, he took his own life, which is a fact all of us still can't fathom. And he was clearly having mental health issues, hurting so deeply. And this is your example of empathy, of your love. This smear campaign for a buck is absolutely not what he would have ever wanted. No matter how bad he was hurting, not for a second. You're a living, breathing bulldozer. Stick to your own demons. Shame on you, Allison. Shame on your money-hungry team. Let my friend rest in peace. Not your PR. So this is a woman who was friends with both of them, was literally in their wedding, and I ain't talking about just in attendance, was in the wedding on her side in support. And she just laid into her ass that deeply. But it ain't over there. Another of Twitch's friends comes out and says, how dare you do this to sell a book? You don't really know me because you always refused to acknowledge me the few times I was around you with him, but I am an old friend of Steven's. I remember when he fell in love with you. He was giddy over you. He would never do this to you if the shoe was on the other foot. He hated all the things you have become. I guess he would say he would have hated all the things you've become. The spotlight, the limelight, the attention you seek. Why does any of this serve? Who does any of this serve? Excuse me. Not Steven, not his memory. It definitely doesn't serve his children or his family. You have become the definition of what he didn't want to be. Even Allison's former manager is coming out. Nelson Diaz shares his experience being her manager. He says, for over a decade, I put up with so much disrespect and just plain evil stuff from you because of him. I should have dropped you as a manager. I hate that I built you up and fought extremely hard for you to get jobs. Even hiring you as a judge on a show on Bravo I helped build. Should have let them fire you when you showed your true colors on set and held us up because you could barely speak. Don't act holier than thou with the demons and skeletons you have. Your house is made of glass. I don't have to say a thing. Others are coming for you now. People know my addiction journey because it's part of my testimony. If you truly are healed, then share your true self and not monetize Steven. So her former manager is coming out saying, hey, I would have dropped your ass a long time ago, but I fucked with him, so I continued to work with you. But now that you're doing this, everybody is coming out letting it be known how they feel about your ass, ma'am. Without a crystal ball, this is somebody who is also aligned with both of them. She puts this out and says, why was his autopsy clear of drugs when he died? That doesn't sound like anyone with an addiction. What about your drinking and drug use, Allison? Oh, shit. His autopsy was clear of drugs when he died? But now he was all on this cornucopia of stuff? She comes back and says, Allison, why are you hiding the fight you had with Steven on your anniversary? Why are you hiding the years of marital fights that nearly led to Steven filing for divorce? Why are you lying about him and not disclosing the truth about your unhappy marriage? This is alleged by family, friends, and business associates of Steven. The couple has allegedly been fighting for over 2 years. So he wasn't even happy with your ass, man. But you talking about you never seen nothing coming. You never seen no signs of depression, no signs of nothing. He just needed to go to the guest house and smoke a little bit. They continuing to go in. Nelson Diaz, former manager, says it was also her gun he used, telling a story without saying a word. Miss Without a Crystal Ball says, what did you say? It was her gun? This is one of Twitch's longtime friends and business managers. And of course, he was Allison's former manager on top of that. This shit getting deep. Next up, we've got his cousin here coming out and letting the things be known. Of course, you see the Old Truths tag on this. Once again, shout out to Opinionated. And he's going to get into some details coming from the perspective of the family directly. All right, so here we go.
I just have to say something. You know, I feel like somebody from Stephen's natural family should say something. And you know, the last time that I recorded, I pretty much was talking about the NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and how we were asked to sign it in order to see Stephen or memorialize him at his funeral. And I'll be honest, you know, I'm not a celebrity. It was very difficult to navigate the whole concept of having to sign a piece of paper in order to see my cousin, whom I loved and valued. And so that was very difficult. But the entire time that we were asked to sign that NDA, the rhetoric was that we were doing so to protect his legacy. And as I stand today and I hear what's in the news and I see what's going on today, I refuse to believe that NDA, the reasons why we were asked to sign the NDA, had any merit, because there's nothing that happened today that was meant to protect his legacy. And you know, sadly, it's just a time where we're having to peel back the layers and see just a tidbit of what Stephen had to endure. And being that none of us, the family, you know, for a person to be married to somebody that committed suicide, and then that person supposedly find a shoebox, disclose the contents of the shoebox with the entire world, then read that your loving husband's journal, private personal journal, and then share the contents of that with the world, it's very difficult to believe that you have any interest in protecting his legacy. And you have kids. You're always talking about how you're so concerned with how the family moves and the things that is being said on our personal pages, but you can go straight to the source and find out that you're delivering contents of shoe boxes. So let me ask the question, who stands to gain from this? Is it the world, or is it you? Because nobody benefits from you supposedly dropping dimes about your late husband. Honestly, that's the weirdest energy. It's weird. We all know that knew Stephen, that loved him. When he died, we all showed him honor. We've all showed him appreciation. We've given him tributes. We've given him posts. You can carry on the charade with the public world, but we know exactly who you are. We see you. We dialed you up. And at the end of the day, you can act like however you want to act. You can be as Hollywood as you want to be, but you still got to live with yourself. Do you like what you see in the mirror? A liar, a narcissist? For what? You leverage Stephen's death to elevate yourself. It's sad. It's sad, and you know, I just know it needs to be said, and I don't know who's gonna say it. I don't know, but it's me. You know, it's me. And you know, Stephen was somebody. He was great. He was remarkable. He was talented. He was gifted. He was nurturing. He was respectful. He was mindful. And I know 100% that if the shoe was on the other foot, he wouldn't be revealing the contents of your shoebox with the world. And your journal would be intact with him because he'd have respect and honor for who you were. Much better than I can say for you.
Now, I got to give a big salute to this gentleman here because he kept it together. He ain't disrespecting. He ain't call out a name. He didn't get like overly emotional. Like he kept it concise to the point and just was like, yo, you claim you love him, but what is all of this? You disparaging this man's name. You're sullying his name. Like how much would it have hurt you if any of it is true to keep it private? But you want to monetize off of it and put it in front of the world? You talking about you care about the kids, but you're about to expose their father and now calling him basically a druggie that took his own life for reasons we still don't know, but now you're trying to put out journals of him being perhaps abused. Now, if he was, whoever did it was wrong. That shit ain't cool. And it could be something that definitely affected him for the duration of his life. We all understand that. But that's not your story to tell, ma'am. And if he kept it private and he was going through what he was going through and he was living with it, then who the fuck are you? All right? But we'll move forward. And once again, that's his cousin, Zachary Boss Silas, a.k.a. Hackensack, who put this message out there. And as you can see, when you go through his Instagram, he's archived, quite a bit of interactions and moments with the family with Twitch. So I'm going to take this off the screen now. Now here we have, I believe, Twitch's brother. Yep, brother coming out speaking. He says, "Dear Allison, you have lied for the last time on my brother. He was absolutely no addict. You will say and do anything for $1. An addict? You are the one that was messing with the coke, Molly, and X. Holy shit, you living a rapper lifestyle, baby girl." He says, "I have all the proof. Play with somebody safe. Country boy right here. I don't give a fuck. Every person who knew him knows you're lying and have been doing dirty crap for a long time. Should I post our last conversation? Try me. You have no idea what I have to post. Here's a few questions I have for you, though. I'll skip that. Why did you make his mom sign an NDA to see her own son's body? Why did close friends, true, she got your shit all up in the way, and family have to sign NDA to attend his funeral? Why did you lie at the funeral about how every day was magical? It wasn't. He told me everything. You had to try and demonize Nelson, and now I see why. You demonize anyone in this life that found out the truth about you. You will say his friends aren't his friends. You will discredit anyone that knows the truth. You're a toxic woman, and I truly believe he would still be alive had he not been married to you. Good God. My only regret is telling him to work on it with you for the sake of the kids when he talked to me about leaving you. I just didn't know the full truth. Just like everyone that supports you. We were both in the same situation, married to toxic narcissists that love black men as a fetish, that will lie and cry wolf and twist narratives, and so-called evidence to be a victim and make $1. We didn't have our dads the way we wanted, so we persevered through the bullshit to be the best fathers we could. Today is the last day you do this. I was contacted about a TV show last year, and after sending their condolences about me losing Steven, guess what the producer said about you? The same thing all of them say about you, Pinky. You're a money-hungry, lying narcissist that will play victim and say and do anything for $1. Last question. Wasn't it your gun that was used? Keep playing with my brother's name. This is the year of truth. Everything is offline. Nothing is off limits. AHD forever." Miss Allison, they are completely on your ass. They got you covered like white on rice. Okay? Now, I will say this. I do believe that there has to be something about Twitch's life that his family and friends didn't know. Now, what that is, I can't say. But for everybody to come out and say that it's absolutely, without a doubt, unequivocally false, that he was taking any sort of substances, I cannot verify that and say that he didn't. I can't say that he did with any certainty either. But I do believe that there were elements of his life that nobody else knew about. But I understand that they're still tender, they're raw, you know what I'm saying? This is still fresh, and they're going back and forth with his ex-wife or his wife or widow or whatever you want to call her. She takes his name, removes his name from hers. She's been out here trying to play this this woman in distress, and, you know, basically utilizing his name and the sympathy of people who feel bad for her to get her in position to make new moves, to move on with life, and basically use his life, his death, and his personal stories as a stepping stone to get her into the next phase of her own movement. I do think that's pretty bad. I do think that's pretty sickening. That's pretty nasty. And I'm glad that the family's calling your ass out, and I hope they continue to. I hope they don't let up on your ass, because it's just certain shit that you don't do. Okay? So that's what we have on the situation. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to it that I just have not even discovered myself. But as y'all can see, there's a lot of people that, oh shit, I forgot about old girl. There's one more, another cousin. Another cousin spoke out. I'm glad I thought about this. Give me a second as I pull up the tweet. So his cousin L, she came out as well, and she says, yeah, I don't give a F about an NDA. This crazy woman made me and his actual family, including sign, and I think she meant included, sign an NDA just to even attend the funeral. She's been trying to tarnish his legacy and refuses to let the boss family see the children, only to exploit and lie on my cousin. Hell no. So this is another cousin. She works in the arts. She's an entertainer of her own. And she came out and verified. All of them are stating that in order to attend his funeral, they had to sign an NDA. I don't know what she was hiding or trying to protect or trying to not allow them to speak on. But if everything was so private, then why is everything so public today? Questions that need answers. Y'all let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. And I want to just take this moment to say rest in peace to Twitch. I hate that you took your own life, but, you know, at least you have your family here to keep your name alive. They're here to fight for you and to keep your name as clean as possible. And hopefully at the end of this, the truth will be revealed and everybody can go their separate ways and forget about all this one day, you know? Once again, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit on my almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.